Brought to you by The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Available now.
Hello and welcome to the lobby, GameSpot's weekly hangout every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific right here on GameSpot.com. I'm your host, Danny O'Dwyer, joined as ever by Mr. Christopher Waters.
Hi, Danny.
Fantastic shirt as ever.
Thank you. You can address me as the White Wolf from now on, after the promo art for this week's episode.
Shout out to Anthony every week.
Look at that.
Look at
That is fantastic.
Did you see that? Look at my hair. He turned it silver.
So the problem is that Anthony has to go with like 5 pictures of us that have been taken wearing the same clothes in the same thing.
Same positions, like same expressions.
So his way
I always
around
end up
it.
with like a mad face, just because it's more, you put a mad face on video game characters more easily than like...
So he's straight up like
and it's
now.
your natural personality as well.
Yeah.
So angry.
It is. I'm simmering with rage underneath, but...
I'm just real happy they didn't do the Wild Wolf on me because I'm a little bit self-conscious about the grey hair thing.
No Photoshop needed.
No, that's true. Could have saved about an hour of thumbnail production time. Today we are very happy to be joined by Mr. Jason Oestreicher from GiantBomb.com.
Thank you very much for having me.
I have you here for one very, very good reason.
Because we're such good friends.
Of course, because we're wonderful friends, and also because you've been playing The Witcher.
Yes, I've been
all
playing
weekend.
a buttload of The Witcher. Yeah.
So it's finally out. It's out today for public consumption. PC, Xbox One, PlayStation 4.
All over the place.
What were you playing over the weekend? What version?
Over the weekend, we got code for the Xbox One version, and I was initially having some issues with that running. But as it turned out, it was all on my side. Like there was a caching issue, but once I got that sorted out, it was still stuttering a little bit here and there. Like, you know, it definitely seems to be, like, my wife saw it for the first time. She's like, are you playing on the 360?
Oh, no, don't say that.
She was only seeing it in the open world areas, though, where, like, the foliage is a little flat and whatnot. But when you're in cutscenes and everything, man, some of the textures, like, I don't like to throw out the word stunning. Man, the game's pretty damn good looking. Especially on PC now.
Don't say. So I guess this is where we get into. At the moment, Rob is doing a graphics comparison where he has it running at 60 frames a second at 2K. I'm playing on Xbox One, and it looks great. It looks great on Xbox One. Do you think it looks good on PS4,
I'm playing
Chris?
PS4. I've played about 2 hours last night and did that thing where, you know, like, you slow down and sort of pan the camera around to just see the sunsets, or, you know, even the interior of the first inn you go into, just like the vibrant, like, paintings on the wall and the like little flower decorations hanging, like that detail and that visual vibrancy. It's a looker.
So and I'm right there with you. I think it looks really good on Xbox One. I was kind of surprised, happy but surprised about that. But I'm not going in to have a look at it on 60 frames a second.
On
PC. Have you seen a big difference,
It
Jason?
might spoil you, It was a night and day difference.
So you started again?
I started again and actually kind of went at my own pace. So like all those like undiscovered locations that I saw like in my first playthrough, I discovered the hell out of those this time. So I took my time. I'm not quite as far as I was when I played over the weekend, but that was just like 6 hours of gameplay last night.
Wow. So we talked a little bit last week about the game as sort of the broad strokes when we had Kevin on for our review. Of course, the 9th 10 out of 10 on GameSpot.com's history.
That's great.
Let's talk about some of the quests. Let's stay away from the main quest stuff. Just some of the like interesting little stories, anecdotes that you've had playing the early part of this game. Is there any interesting stories that like pop out to you over the past like couple of days?
What's been amazing to me is like how fleshed out and well written like all of these side stories are. In comparison to like The Witcher 2, which really starts out with a bang, almost literally because you're in bed with Triss. But you know, they throw you into a big battle. There's a big dragon and everything. But in this, it's very subdued. You go through that initial like tutorial section, which ends up being a flashback. But after that, they're just like, hey, go find Yennefer. So I'm like, all right, this we'll see how this goes. And I started talking to more NPCs, and I'm like, these guys seem kind of placeholder, but I'm actually interested in what they're having to say. So everything seems so well written that it's engrossed me in a different way than Witcher 2 did.
Yeah, I'm surprised by the question mark hunting stuff you're talking about. Is probably one of the most. I've started to pick like peninsulas and just been like, I'm going to spend the next 15 minutes. Like this area of the maps look like it doesn't have anything going on. I wonder if there's something happening there, and there's always like a bunch of stuff happening in there.
Yeah, I was on the quest I was looking for some roots at Riverbed or something like that, part of a side quest, and there was an old lady with an exclamation point above her head, and she's like peeking in the windows of this old hut, and I'm like, all right, lady, what are you up to? And she starts telling me about her night, how some creepy guy was trying to get her frying pan and ended up borrowing it, and I'm like, all right, lady. She's like, the frying pan's right there. Let me go get it. So you go do it, and you find out that there's like a grisly murder inside, and there's like intrigue. There's like spy notes all over the place. And after every time that you look at something, she's like, "Did you find my frying pan yet?" So
the gameplay of that moment is you go into a hut, pick up a pan, and bring it out to an old lady who is like distraught she lost her pan.
Yeah.
But it's so full of character and it's so interesting that it's just like, yeah, I want to look at those exclamation
And it unearths, a whole other side chain of events that you can dive into.
I just had this part where I played hide and seek with a bunch of kids to get information off them.
Oh,
and I'm pretty sure I could have intimidated them, but that was just like, whatever, yeah, I've got Witcher sense. This isn't going to take long. And then one of them had like climbed up on the roof of the building, and I had to like climb up and then down into a hay bale, and then I was like, there you are, I found you. And you were like, yeah, but you found me last. So she was like delighted, because it was like, you got me last. I won't hide and seek.
How far into
what
the
is the
game
effect
is
of the
that,
mental manipulation sign on children?
Yeah,
Has
it's
that
a
been
bit,
well documented?
Dude, I had this one boy telling me that like, I'm looking for Siri, and it's not this. This is like baby Siri, but I'm at one stage where I'm like asking this kid where Siri is, and he's like, I don't know, man. Apparently, all the girls with titties go into the woods, and I was like, what? And he was like, this is a little child, and he's like, yeah, my dad used to tell me that the girls go when the soldiers come. The girls with the nice titties go into the woods, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to play hide and seek? Because this is getting pretty awkward.
Yeah.
Do you want to try to reclaim some of your lost childhood right now?
Oh yeah, this kid's totally an orphan, by the way. So like, it's just dunzo. That part's that's quest stuff as you get into like the bog later when you're looking for some of the old crones.
Right
yeah.
now. Yep.
But I keep getting like sidetracked. I'm not in
It's easy to, yeah.
I think like there's so many open world games, like when I think about it, it's where Assassin's Creed kind of is, and maybe Far Cry 4, which was good fun, but a lot of those side quests are very like
Collectathons and
like
Sure.
par for the course. You're kind of like, oh, I've got 15 of these, collect the feather quests, and 15 of these destroy the outpost. And there is some of that stuff here with like monster holes and whatnot, but it tends to be a lot more varied and like there's a lot more ways, like mechanically when you're in the missions, that they're sort of like you said, like all you're doing is going up, picking up a frying pan and bringing it back to her.
Yeah.
But they just do stuff to like dress that way, that in a way that makes it like entertaining.
That's so true. I we're looking for Yennefer. It's really early on. I went to the bounty board because I was like, all right, I'll read what's going on, and lo and behold, it's not just like a list of quests. It's like random posts from people. They're just fun to read. But I took one that was like, I need to get to this well, but it's haunted.
Yeah.
It's kind of messed up. So you go and you talk to the guy. He tells you why he needs to get there, and you roll up to this little town, this little settlement that has the well, and figure out pretty quickly it's guarded by a wraith of some kind. But it's not. You don't just go to that well, fight the wraith, and then go back to the dude. You like search the houses, and all the while Geralt is doing his like investigation patter, where he's kind of talking to himself about like about what a Witcher is and what he does. Like it's informing you of that, and then you end up like doing some more stuff, and then he's like, all right, I need to prepare for this fight. So it's almost like a little
short tutorial.
Yeah, it's a tutorial.
Yeah.
It has that in there, but
it doesn't feel like a tutorial.
It doesn't
at all.
feel like that, and it also, you're learning about like Geralt in an authentic way. But the thing that struck me with that was these are quests. Like this world is so full of grief, and so full, and like with your orphan comment, like this world is full of people whose lives are like torn apart by loss, even when there's not a war going on.
Yeah.
But because of all these creatures and these horrors, like death and grief are such a part of people's lives. And that quest specifically, where like the wraith is a physical manifestation of just horrible grief, echoing in the world, it had this like resonance with me that just, I mean, that quest writing is just so, it's grabbed me right away.
It doesn't dive into the sort of melodrama you associate with a lot of high fantasy stuff. It's kind of more grounded. I remember there was one part, there's these like fight clubs that are in different towns, and you can join in and you can bet on yourself and go into fight clubs. And there was one of them, and like if it was any other game, it would just be like, oh, fight that guy, fight that guy, fight that guy, like in a row. But I went to this one, I bet like 35 gold or whatever on me winning the fight, and it was just some fisherman. And then he's like, oh, please, the winner of this gets a bag of flour, and I'm starving. Like, just like the winner of this like bout. And I'm like, oh man, you fucking kidding me? So like I just went like, in that video gamey way, like I decided, who knows, if I do something nice for him, maybe I'll get something back.
Sure.
So I did the fight, and I bet him within an inch of his life, and then stopped blocking, and he bet me up, and sure enough, he wins, and he gets the flour. And nothing. nothing. And I was kind of like, okay, I don't mind. And then like I come back 2 hours later and like he's still like reigning champion. So I went in and I knew I could beat the crap out of him. So I like bet twice as much, like the top limit, and just pounded the shit out of him. And I was like, hey, you got your food. And I just made my money back. So we're all
yeah.
There's a bunch of little swerves like that. There's a guy that needs help on the side of the road. Like apparently, his cart had been driven off the road by these drowners or whatever.
Yeah.
Coming to find out through some investigation that he's actually the guy that shot it down. When you confront him about it, he gets like completely dim-witted, and he's like, look behind you, trying to run away.
He just runs?
Yeah, and he hops on a horse, so you start chasing after this idiot, right? And you knock him off the horse, and come to find out that he's actually a spy for like the rebels of the area.
Oh, wow.
And the lockbox that he wanted you to obtain actually has medical supplies for his homies. But,
wow.
So you have the choice of giving it back to him or keeping it, or a big swerve in that.
And there seems to be such
a medicine.
I
was like,
oh really?
You go on your way with your life, but Witcher gets paid.
Okay, last one, because I don't want to give away any more spoilery stuff.
All right.
Have any of you guys...
This is all very early, by the way.
Yeah, this is super early. Have any of you guys seen the gentleman outside of, was it Crow's Perch, who has to beat up 100 knights to get like the honor of this woman?
I have not. No.
And he's on 99. He's on 99 and he comes up to Geralt and you're like, mate. So he like pulls out his sword. I tried to convince him not and it wouldn't work. So now I didn't fight him because I was like, I don't want to kill this guy because he seems like a nice dude. Every time I go back to Crow's Perch, he's waiting for me.
He's ready to go.
And he goes, Geralt's there. And he's back. And Geralt like automatically pulls out his sword and I'm like, nope, just keep going, Roach.
Yep. Just keep going. Don't take a swing. Just let the guy live it out.
I kind of want to see what happens if you kill him.
Yeah, all right. So here's a
Don't do
question though. This is you've got multiple save slots. You can have manual saves. What are your personal philosophies about saving, sticking with your decisions? Where are we at?
I tend to stick with them, but last night I had the fortunate opportunity to like replay some of the stuff that I had done before.
Oh,
so
right, yeah.
I chose some
'cause you're playing on
different
new
things. Yeah, like there's a gentleman that you talk to, the Emperor, actually, and you can choose whether or not to bow to him. So I chose the opposite, and yeah, he treated me completely differently during the conversation.
Did you bow the second time?
Did not bow the second time.
I didn't bow both times I've done it.
The first time I bowed, which was kind of a humorous thing the first time. But
you literally have to learn the bow. You have to do like the hand, knee in, right arm. You have to it's
oh,
pretty
really?
good. Yeah. Game's super smart.
It's really good.
The one thing I've seen on Xbox One, I'm not sure if it's the same for PS4, or it's probably different on PC, is that there's a maximum 8 of manual save slots. So you can't like Oblivion it and have like
consoles,
300.
Yeah, on the PC it seems to just keep going.
Keep going?
Yep.
Yeah, I usually like leapfrog when I have multiple saves.
Sure.
But personally, I haven't. I think I'm going to try to stick through with the decisions.
I'm with you. I did the same for Mass Effect. On Mass Effect 2, and I was lucky enough that I got everyone through that. But I was like, this is it. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
That's tough because, I mean, there's 36 total endings or something like that?
Yeah.
And your choices carry so much weight that it's tough to make those, especially like the split decision ones.
We gave GameSpot gave The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt a 10 out of 10. You guys think it's right up there?
I think it's up there. I think there are definitely some technical issues.
Yes.
But if CD Projekt Red has proven anything, it's that they continue to support the game, but post-release. So I have no worry that they'll sort it out.
Excellent.
Yeah, so far, so good for me.
Cool. Looking forward to playing more Witcher 3 Wild Hunt over the next couple of weeks and perhaps months. If you want to see more of our coverage, go over to GameSpot.com and let us know in the comments what you think of your time with Geralt of Rivia.